In this video, we'll talk about all the information one must need as a nominator before they go ahead and stake their Movr tokens. So you might be a person who will just stake and forget, or there might be a person who would like to know in detail about whom they are staking to and what is the APY and how things work. So for both the folks, this video might be helpful. So please take a look at the timelines at the bottom about things that you are interested in knowing about. So to start with, we'll talk about the official guide. So the Moonbeam team have put forth excellent set of documentations, be it a developer or folks who are interested in going and staking the tokens. You can have in-depth documentations. If you are a person who would like to read it, so then you have articles written in detail about how you can connect to Moonbeam with the different means, how you can stake, and there is also an option about how you can vote on a proposal. So since this is like a decentralized network, we as nominators and collators have the right to vote a particular proposal. You can either vote in favor or against depending upon what you think is good for the ecosystem. If you are a person who doesn't like reading but to see things visually, so you can visit the official YouTube channel. Here they have given detailed explanation about how you can connect to the network and how you can go ahead and stake. So I'll link these videos for your reference. Alright, let's now talk about rewards. So to talk about how rewards work, you must understand inflation and the total supply and the effect that has on rewards. So there are a few other factors that is going to affect the rewards that we have, but we'll take a look at one at a time for now. So the total supply of Movr, as you know, is 10 million tokens, and the inflation rate is 5%. So what that means is every year you will have 5% increase in the number of Movr tokens. So there will be 500,000 Movr tokens that will be added every year. So with that 500,000 tokens, it has to be distributed among the community, either for securing the network or for attracting the people, whatever be the intention is, right? So basically you have 5% of the tokens that will be distributed among the community and the team. So how that is distributed is 2.5% will be distributed towards the nominators, 1% of that particular total increase will be for the collators, and 1.5% remaining will go to the team for securing the parachain. So basically, as you know, we need more tokens to secure parachain, Kusama and Dot. So that reserve of 1.5% will be used for that particular purpose. So as you can see, there is roughly about 250,000 tokens yearly that will be distributed as nomination rewards. So how it will be distributed, so that again depends on multiple other factors. We'll see you one at a time now. So for example, roughly what you can expect is, assuming you have 1,000 tokens, right? So depending upon how much is the number of tokens that is staked, the rewards will be distributed equally. So right now the total circulating supply is roughly around 2.5 million tokens, and we can see where you can check how many number of tokens has been staked and then how you can do this calculation by yourself. So assuming if the staked percentage is 200,000 and your stake is 1,000, then you will be getting roughly around 125% as your APY. So for 1,000 tokens, you'll get roughly around 3.4 Movr tokens. So that was at the starting stages. Now we have more activity and more people have started staking. So roughly we are around 1 million tokens. That's where we stand. And for 1 million token that is being staked, if suppose you have 1,000 tokens as a nominator, and if you have nominated two different folks, roughly you can expect around 0.1 0.68 to somewhere around that range. So that's the amount of more tokens that you can expect. And if suppose it increases down the line, so let's say if 5 million Movr tokens have been staked, then what will happen is the rewards will eventually go down. So you can see that as the number of total stake increases, the rewards will continue to fall down. One other thing that Moonbeam has done is the nominators doesn't have to worry about what is the commission that the collator is going to take. So basically, since the amount of rewards that the collator can get is fixed, so nominators share will not be touched by the collators. So basically the 2.5% entirely belongs to nominators alone. Okay, now let's discuss about how will one get rewards. So basically not everybody who is going to stake will get rewards. So to get a reward, there are certain factors that you'll have to check for. So let's take a look at the site that they have provided for staking. So this is the official site, apps.moonbeam.network. And here you can see that the minimum amount of nomination one must have is 5 Movr in order to be eligible for staking. So basically, let's assume I have 5 Movers. Then the next criteria that you'll have to look for is when you're choosing the collator, you'll have to take a look at the minimum bond that is required. So you cannot have less than this particular amount. Let's say if you want to stake with this person, then the minimum bond that you require currently is 19.9. So that would kind of secure you a spot in the top 100 in terms of the number of nominators by stake. So if you are a person who just have 19.9, if suppose somebody else who kind of comes up and stakes let's say 25 mover after you have staked, then you will lose your position. So basically you'll have to see at what position you are standing, and your position should be in the top 100 in order for you to be eligible for getting the rewards that the collator is going to distribute. So that is a major factor. So now how you can get that particular information. So there are different ways you can get that information to do a research yourself. So basically you can see this particular information that is displayed here. Subscan is one common one that is prevalent for all Polkadot systems. There is again Moonscan, which is kind of similar to Etherscan. So we have that as well. And there is some community built applications that is available. So basically analytics.Dapplooker will help you kind of do a SQL query yourself and then kind of fetch out all the information that you need in order to do the research that you want. And there is again Stakemovr, and there might be multiple more. I'm just calling out a few things that is available for your choice. So here, for example, if you wanted to find out what is the minimum bond that is available for staking, so you can see that the minimum bond that is required, let's say for this particular collator, is 22.5. Whereas let's say if you have only 15, then you're better off choosing another collator who has a lower criteria. So here you can see that to be a part of this particular collator, to be in the top 100 of that particular collator, it's enough if you have 5 movers. So you can find the information and cross check with the different different application as well. So here, for example, if you see the minimum bond that is being required, right? So here, for example, if you want to take a look at this particular person, then you can see the list of nominators over here. And if you tap on view all, then you will be able to see all the persons that is present. So if you go all the way to the last one, then you can see that the minimum requirement is 22.5. What I mean by that, this is the 100th person who is eligible for rewards on that particular collator. So let's say if you have 21, then you're better off choosing someone else with the minimum nomination amount. For example, you can choose any of this particular collator who has a minimum nomination amount which is lower than what you have. So that way you will be having rewards coming to you. You can obviously choose to if your stake is big, so basically you can obviously choose to nominate it to different collators. So that's what people usually do. So for example, if you are taking a look at Brightly Stake, which is us, so you can see the nominators here, right? So basically there are people who have staked 2,800 and there are people who have staked 2,000. So if you take a look at the second one, for example, he or she seems to have a large stack, and the strategy that they have used is to kind of distribute among different folks. So depending upon the amount that they have distributed, the share might vary. So for example, you can assume it like this. So if there is a 10 mover that has to be distributed for all the delegators for a particular collator, then this particular share will determine how much the person is going to get. So because the total bonded amount is very high here, the amount of returns that he's going to get will be lower. So here we don't know exactly how much amount he has staked, but generally speaking, this is how it is going to be. If you're going to choose a person who is having a total nomination as less, then if suppose you're going to, let's say, bond 1,000 more tokens, you're better off bonding to a person who has a lower stake. That way you get maximum number of rewards. So that is one strategy you can follow. And the next thing that you have to consider while doing this to get rewards is how trustable that particular collator is. People might have different ways of trusting a collator. So there are a few ways that you can reach out to them. So basically there is in Discord there is a meet the collators section, so where every collator or most of them have introduced themselves. So basically you will be able to contact them via Discord over here. On the other hand, you can go to the description section inside this particular Moon River. So basically here you will be able to see brightly stake, and if you tap on that particular thing, then most of the collators who would like to be reached out to will have their links present. So basically if you want to email us, you can use this. You want to go and visit our website, you can tap on this. That will take us to the website. And then once you reach out to here, then all the way at the bottom you have our Telegram group, where you can come and engage with a conversation just to understand how things work and other stuff. On the other hand, you might also trust based on some stats and numbers. So basically if you want to have a analysis done on how well the collator has performed, you can choose quite a few options. So if you go to moonriver.moonscan.io, then there is this collator leaderboard section. So this can kind of give you a rough idea of how many number of blocks that particular collator is proposing for 30 days, 7 days and 1 day's average. So probably you're better off statistically speaking choosing the one who has the lowest number, because if the collator is in a good state, then the number of proposals will not be drastically different. It can be slightly less, but it should not be drastically different from, let's say, 2400 towards probably 3800. So if the collator is new, then obviously it is going to be low. So basically you have to check against the first block that they have bonded on, so or the first block that they have proposed. So basically that will give you a fair idea of how many number of blocks that the person is being proposing and all those stuff. Another metric that you can consider is the number of transactions that the collator or the block is being proposing. So you can tap on a particular collator. So basically this is the number of transactions inside each and every block. I think if your collator is not having a strong enough node, then this transaction count will be consistently lower. It can vary now and then, but it should not be like varying low all the time. So for example, if you tap on this particular collator as an example, then the collator blocks, if you tap on it, then it will give you a consistency, or like give you a list of blocks that he has proposed and the number of transactions he has had. So if you have chosen a particular collator, you can again cross check and see if the transaction is not drastically low in comparison with the other collators. So that is another metric that you can do. The other thing you can do is like analytics.Dapplooker has some pre-built graphs and other things, or there is an option to query yourself. So here is one example that we feel that should be or could be considered. So what we have done is we have got the number of rewards that they have got and when they have bonded. So basically with both this as a measure, so if you sort it by the number of count, then what happens is that if a person who is bonded earlier should ideally be having more number of rewards than the person who was bonded later. So that way, if you sort by the number of count, then if there is a change in difference, for example, so he has bonded on July 13, but the number of rewards he has got is probably lesser than the person who has bonded on July 14. So basically this means that this particular person, even though he has bonded earlier, the number of rewards that he has got is slightly less. So which means that this is the number of times you would have been rewarded yourself if you have chosen this nominator as well. So this can be one metric that you can look into. So if you are interested in looking at this, I will attach this query as well for your reference in the description. So there are multiple ways you can do. So this is one metric that we thought. If there is a new metric that you want to grade yourself, grade the collators yourself, then you can obviously visit this particular site and do the SQL yourself to find out who is the best person you want to choose with based on data. So we have spoken at length about the various things that you can do yourself as a nominator before choosing a collator. So now there's one final thing I would like to show. So basically once you have chosen to nominate with a particular collator, for example us, then you would be present in the list of nominators that is available here. If you're not available in the top 10 or 15, then tap on view all. Then you should be able to navigate based on the stake that you have given. For example, if you go ahead and choose the last option that is available, it's 13 Movr tokens. So click on that particular account. If suppose that is your account, then you can see the number of times you have been rewarded. So basically you tap on reward and slash, then you will see that every 1.5 hour you will receive some Movr tokens. So depending upon your stake, then this value will be proportionately increasing. So hope you found this video useful. If there is anything more that you would want us to cover, let us know. Probably we'll have another video for Q&A if there is any.